Hi, Facebook. Justin Warmoth here, along with a special guest. This is Ashley.
Hello.
Ashley's from Satellite Beach, and that's not the whole reason why she's here with us in studio. Ashley is a contestant on this year's Survivor, which starts tonight, debuts tonight at 8 o'clock on CBS, right here on News 6. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, my pleasure.
So I think the first thing I'd like to ask you about is the process. Has to be incredible. To be out there, to be in the wild with essentially nothing.
Yeah.
What is that like? Is it, when you were envisioning what this was going to be like, was it anything like you envisioned?
There's really no way to predict how this is going to be.
Yeah.
I refer to it as my dream, and it still feels like it was a dream. I call it back on the dream island, back in my dream, because that's what it was like. It was just like, you would sit there and look around. You're like, is this real life? There's no way of like predetermining what that feeling is going to be like. It's just surreal. You're so taken away from everything in real life. You're not allowed to know anything that's going on in the world around you, much less back at home with your family, with everyone. And it's just, you're on this beautiful island, but you're surrounded by people that you don't know. You're playing this weird mind game. You don't know them, you don't trust them. Some of them you don't like them. And you don't know if they like you, but you're just sitting there and you're essentially so alone. You're not physically, but it's very, it feels like you're alone, and it feels like an absolute dream. Like it's a dream.
Have you always been a Survivor fan?
I was when it first started. So me and my dad started watching it together when I was a little girl, like right when it started. And I've always been a fan of, in the sense of, I'm going to be on that show one day. My dad would always say, like, we would watch it together and be like, you got to do this, you got to do this. Make sure, you know, when you're on there one day, you better do this. And we would talk about, like, it was such a fact, like, that I was going to be on it. And so over the years, I kind of stopped watching it, but he kept on watching. And every once in a while, I would still get phone calls from like when he watches episodes. He's like, when are you going to do it, Ashley? You're going to do this episode. You never guess what happened. So I was like, remained a fan in that way.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
And how long? I don't know if we can. We don't. No spoilers or anything like that. But how long were you on the island? You don't have to go into exact specifics, but how? Because it's all done and taped, and she's back now from the island. How long were you there?
Well, the whole process was 7 weeks.
Okay.
So I can say that's really all I can say.
That's fine. That's a long time.
Where I was, what I was doing the entire 7 weeks, you'll have to find out.
Exactly.
But yeah, the whole process was 7 weeks with just no communication whatsoever with anyone. It was basically.
It's hard to imagine.
Yeah. I mean, they took the cell phone as soon as we landed in LA, and we didn't get it back until we landed back in LA 7 weeks later.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah.
So let's take the folks through your background. You were born and raised in Satellite Beach?
Yeah.
Went to Satellite High School?
I did.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you also, let's talk about you played sports?
Yeah, always a huge athlete, big swimmer. We grew up on the ocean, so my parents like raised me like surfing, and we lived like right across the street from the beach, boating, wakeboarding, kayaking, surfing, all that fun stuff. So that was like. And
then now, currently, you still live in Brevard County in Satellite Beach, and you are.
I'm an ocean rescue lifeguard, fittingly
cool.
enough.
Fittingly enough.
Yeah,
it had to play to your hand a little bit in these
competitions. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I've watched so many seasons in the past, and all it was like, the more water challenges, the better. That's all I kept saying. I even told Jeff when I got there, I'm like, hey, you want to throw in some water challenges?
How was
Jeff?
He's
like, they're already, the challenges are already decided. Ashley, calm down. We know you'll do well in the water challenges.
So,
but they were intense. They were intense.
So you went to Victory Casino, right? That's where you had this whole. How's that process? Because I know a lot of people often wonder, okay, do they find them or do they go out and audition? Like, what's that process? So take us through that first step.
Yeah, no, I just stood in line with thousands of other people, just like everyone else, and it was kind of just, you know, me and a friend went. We're like, let's just go do it. You know, obviously, I got the phone call from my dad as soon as he read it in the newspaper that they were having it. He's like, you better be there. This is your time. Because I never wanted to make I'm like, I'll make a video one day, maybe, you know, just to appease him. But then that was like, that's easy enough. I have to go. I at least show up, you know. I gotta try. And so it was just like a fun thing. Like, we'll give it our best shot. They give you 1 minute to say, you have 1 minute. Tell us why you want to be on screen. Yeah, so it's like, you just go in there sounding as confident and full of yourself as you can, because that's all you have is to sell yourself. Like, this is why you need me.
What did they tell you? Like, why did they tell you they picked you? Did they tell you that?
So basically 8 months went by, so I completely almost forgot about it.
Gosh.
You know, I didn't get a phone call the next day or the next week, so I'm like, figures I didn't make the cut, just like most people did.
Right.
Yeah, sort of. I forgot about it. So 8 months later, they give me a phone call. I'm sitting at work, on my lifeguard stand, like with my coworker, and I get a phone call, and they're like, "Hey, this is so-and-so from Survivor. We went back and watched all the tapes, and we don't know how we missed you the first time, but we just saw this, and we think you'd be perfect. If you're serious about doing this, we'd like you to come out to LA in a week." And I thought it was a joke. I'm like,
who's playing a prank?
I'm like, somebody's playing a prank on me. Yeah.
Right now?
I'm like, this is a joke. But they're like, no, this is real. Like, we need your answer. Like, we want you in a week. And I'm like, yes, I'll be there. And they're like, well, don't you need to talk to, like, you could have time to talk to your family, talk to your employer, and see if you can take the time off. I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. I'll be there. We'll work that out. Yeah. Don't worry, I will be there.
And like, so okay. You went out there, and then did they say, did you have to do anything else?
Yeah, the process. So
it was a whole other process after that.
The process in LA was just a series of, again, it was like pure isolation.
Right.
They really like to isolate you in this process. You're just like stuck in the hotel room. They're like, don't leave this room, because there's other contestants there in the hotel. Don't leave this room until we tell you you can leave. And then so it was just a process of interview after interview after interview, with just, you get higher up, bunch of personality tests,
so thousands of people apply, thousands, and they pick how many?
18.
18. So you were one of 18. That is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's live Facebooking. We usually say live television. This is live on Facebook.
Right.
All right. So the reaction that you've gotten since you've been back, since the news kind of broke that you participated in this. What's it been like?
I don't think it's fully sunk in yet.
I think you will find that out tonight.
I think it's going to just be like a truck hit me. It was, I will say, so on the last season finale, they show the preview for the upcoming season. Right. So I made my family stay up and watch that with me. I'm like, I'm going to be on it. Maybe I'll be somewhere on the preview, And so the second person on the preview to talk is like a close-up of me. And that's the first time I've ever seen myself on TV, really, in that way. So it's like a close-up. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I started tearing up. I'm like, this is real. So that was like the first instance where I was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't just a dream. I was like, wait, that really happened. Story. So I'm in for a shock.
Wow. Is there anything you can really do to prepare yourself for something like this? I feel like there are so many variables that go into, you don't know the personalities that are going to be out there. You just have to kind of be yourself, and also, keep a close eye on yourself, because you don't, it's like you said, it's very isolated. Everyone's trying to get that cash.
I mean, physically, I prepped as much as I could. I knew physically I'd be okay. I went back and forth on like, do I want to? I'm as tough as can be, but I'm still like a girl, and I'm just like, I want to look good.
So you were going through kind of like a game plan.
Yeah, so I'm like, what's the game plan? Do I want to lose weight, or do I want to not lose weight, but I'm just like, I was thinking kind of, do I want to like wean myself off food? Is that a good strategy, or do I want to? But everyone's telling me, no, you need to eat as much as you possibly can and gain weight. And so, and I'm also thinking, well, I kind of want to like look good. I don't want to like gain much weight. But then I'm like, at the end of the day, that last week before I left, it totally turned into just eat whatever you want, however much I want, because I'm like, I don't know when I'll get to eat again, so let me just pack on the pounds here.
All right, so
and see what happens.
I'm going to ask you 2 more questions. It's essentially the same thing.
Okay.
A, your favorite part. Let's start with that. What was your favorite part about being on the show?
Oh gosh, I think just the mind-altering. Part of it, the perspective, I guess you could say. I would never, I came back with a whole new perspective of just, of how hunger feels, of true starvation,
and this was for granted,
and it was for a game, I was gonna eat eventually, and I knew that. So that was a big one, a big like shock to me, was just like, this is how people feel a lot of the time all over the world. And so that was like, it really was just an experience that you can imagine how it feels to be hungry, or you can imagine how it feels to be lonely or isolated or whatever it may be, but this was truly just the most, like, you had to really, it's the most self-realizing too. You realize so much about yourself and like how much who you are as a person.
That's
so like
crazy.
Coming back with just different like mindsets like that is cool.
Cool perspective.
Yeah,
and then, all right,
perspective.
So let's talk about, this may play into the worst part. What was the worst part about being on the show?
The hunger. And I think all, the few hundred people that have been part of the Survivor family over the past 35 seasons will probably all agree with me that the worst part was hunger.
Because you're not only hungry, but you're dealing with people who you may not like.
I
And
mean,
so that hangry,
hangry is an understatement.
Hangry is an understatement.
We don't get hangry here in the United States. You get hangry out there.
Next level hangriness. Yeah. Well, we can't wait to watch.
Yeah, me too. Tell me
I know,
about
I bet. Yeah. Tonight is when it all starts. So follow along right here on News 6. Thank you so much, Ashley, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We hope, and we're all rooting for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're rooting for you. All right.
Please
we hope to see you guys tonight on News 6.